Hello everybody, welcome to another Debug Console tutorial video in the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Today we're going to be looking at two of the most valuable tools in the Debug Console, Spawn and GRIDSPAWN. Let's hop right in. Spawn is a command that you can use to spawn in moving entities in the game. What does this mean? It means that literally anything in the game that has an effect that moves can be spawned in using spawn. This includes things like tears that Isaac shoots, bums in the game, enemies, even items on pedestals. I'm going to show you guys how to do all of these. So it's very straightforward. Just do spawn, and then all of a sudden you have all of these different things to type in here, and there are actually just a ton of them. So let's spawn in a couple of these. Let's do like 2.6 is a dark matter tier. So we do that. And there's our dark matter tier that just showed up, and we can do repeat 10 on it. We got 10 dark matter tiers that just go into a room. Let's do something funky here. Let's do repeat 5,000. Just fill the room with dark matter tiers. That didn't really do what I expected it to do, because a lot of them are spawning on top of each other. But still kind of neat and interesting thing that you can do here to do some damage to enemies in an insanely unconventional way. But pretty unique. We can also, just gonna do a quick restart, we can also do it to spawn in fortune machines. Let's do a spawn 6.3. That spawns in a fortune telling machine. Could be very useful if you wanted to mess around with the odds of fortune machines or something along those lines. You can also use this as a item spawner. So say we wanted to spawn in 3.2, which is Demon Baby. We can spawn in Demon Baby because he is a moving entity in the game. Anything that is moving can be spawned in here with the spawn command. Let's spawn in everybody's favorite thing, 6.9, nice, the Bomb Bum. Which is, as many people know now, a bum that doesn't really show up often in the game, but he will take your bombs in return for some other bombs and bomb-related items. Pretty cool that we can see that guy in here. Here's another interesting one. Spawn 1000.1. This is a bomb explosion. So when a bomb explodes, it puts off that effect right there. We can spawn in that effect. And this actually gets really, really creepy when you do this. And you can just light up an entire room with explosions. Pretty awesome stuff. So since it moves, it is able to be done here. What other weird entities like that are there? So a fly explosion, you got right there. Maybe a blood explosion right there. You can do all of those different things, and that's very helpful for mod creators that try to add in a particle effect into the game for their mod, because they can then work off of some of these that have already been created. Let's look at a couple of the more funkier ones. So spawn 408, Hush Skinless. Who the hell is this guy? I'm sure there's not a lot of you that have actually seen this ever, but this was something that was put into the game by Edmund when Afterbirth was released as kind of a red herring for data miners who were trying to figure out the secrets of the Keeper before they were actually put in. This was kind of put in for them to think that they found something, but really it was just a red herring that would lead them astray. But it's pretty frightening. This is the only real image you have of Skinless Hush, and I would love to see somebody take that and create some kind of funky mod with it in the future here. That would be super dope. So then finally, the last thing we're going to do with spawn is kind of show you a way to spawn in specific enemies. So for instance, if we spawn in 10, this is just a little frowning gaper man. We know this guy. We love this guy. But say we wanted to spawn in a champion version of him. You can actually do that. So by doing spawn and then type.variant.subtype.champion, these are all numeric IDs here. So the type we're going to have as 10, which is our frowning gaper here. But then we're also going to do 1 as the variant. The subtype we're going to do as 0. And then the champion we're going to do as 4. And this is going to spawn in that did not spawn in the guy that I expected it to spawn in. But that's okay. It spawned in a different one, which is exactly, I suppose, what we wanted to see here. You can spawn in a bunch of different kinds of these guys. Did I reverse it? I don't know what I did. But you can see, if you can master what the different things are, you can spawn in any enemy that you could ever want in the game here. Finally, the last one is to do an item pedestal. A lot of people told me to show how to do this. It's just 5.100 and then whatever item ID you want. So say Polyphemus is 169. We can do that. It puts Polyphemus on a pedestal here. We can also do like 133 is Guppy's Paw. I believe like 331 is Soy Milk. Never mind, it's Godhead. 330 is Soy Milk. You'd think I would know some of these by now. But say you wanted to show off a certain array of items or something, you could spawn them all in on pedestals, and that would be very, very useful. Next on our command list is GRIDSPAWN. What does GRIDSPAWN do? GRIDSPAWN is going to be able to spawn anything that can't be spawned with the spawn command. Oh, thanks, Tyler. But really, it's stationary items in the game. So things like rocks, pits, spikes, things that don't move and are stationary. So if we do a grid spawn of 1000 here, it's going to spawn in a rock. And it's going to place it randomly in the room unless we specify otherwise, and I'll show you that shortly. We can do it again. It's going to place it over there. We can do a repeat of 100. It's going to place a bunch of them in there, and now I've trapped myself in here. So that's pretty unfortunate. But you can spawn in a bunch of different stuff. We could do bomb rocks with 1001. You can see that guy's placed up there. We can do pits. So grid spawn in 3000, and that's going to put a pit in. So it's just going to put it right there. It looks a little bit funky right now, but still pretty neat. I kind of want to do a repeat 100 on that one. Yeah, this looks super funky. Definitely looks a little bit broken, but that's okay. You could do a grid spawn of 1930, and this is going to put spikes in the room. Apparently, I just have that totally wrong because I didn't type grid spawn correctly. Grid spawn 1930 puts spikes in the room. Pretty interesting. And then this is one that I really like. 9100 does a crawl space, which is pretty unique. But then what if we wanted to what if we wanted this crawl space to be up here in the top right corner of the room? You can actually specify this. So in the debug console, there is a debug command, and we're going to go over what everything does in the debug command in a future video. But the one that we're interested in here is debug 11. So when hitting debug 11, it's going to put this really awesome but creepy looking grid up on the screen. And you can kind of see, if you look above Isaac's head right now, there's a number that starts at 0 in the top left and goes down to 134 in the bottom right here. But then what we can do is we can use that number after our spawn, and it's going to put whatever it is at that number. So we have 28 is the top right over here. So we can do a grid spawn of 9100 at 28. And it's going to put our crawl space right up there in the top right corner of the screen, right on top of 28, which is very, very neat. You can do this for any of these. So 68, we'll put it right there. 49, you bet, it's going to go right on top of 49. This is very useful if you wanted to create some kind of maze-like pattern in your room or something, and you wanted to specify exactly where stuff is going to be. Super duper useful. So that's the spawn and grid spawn command. Both are very valuable in the debug console and are a lot of fun to just mess with and do some funky stuff with. In the next video, I'll show you guys go to and stage, two commands that allow you to teleport to different rooms and floors. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.